Your home is your castle. Your home is your castle. And you have the right to defend your family in your home. And right now, unfortunately, that is not the case. You know, our purpose as conservatives is to bring back a country where hard work gets you a beautiful house on a safe street under our proud flag. That when you come home and put the key in the door and you turn it, you're filled with peace, knowing that you can leave all of the day's troubles behind. That your biggest problem will be how you get the kids to eat all of their dinner, finish their homework, and get to bed on time. I confess that we fail on the last one regularly in the Polyev household, but these are the kinds of problems that we all want to have. Unfortunately, there are bigger problems that people face after 10 years of disastrous liberal government that has driven costs, crime, immigration, and employment through the roof. People worry. They worry that they can't afford a home in the first place, that if they do have a home, they can't afford to put food on the table because of high liberal taxes and inflation. They worry about losing their jobs because of liberal taxes and temporary foreign worker programs that take jobs away from Canadians. They worry that even if they have a job, a home, and food on the table, that they're not safe in their homes. They worry that their car might be gone from the driveway when they wake up in the morning. Or worse, they worry that they might be awoken at 2 a.m. to the sound of breaking glass and feet pounding on their living room floor as an invader storms in to steal the family's goods or worse, harm the family itself. They worry when they've seen the Toronto police say that it is necessary to leave your keys at the front door to make it easier for criminals to safely steal your car. And they worry when they think about what they might do to protect their family if an intruder ever entered. What do you do if you've got a small child down the hallway and you hear that ominous sound of a home invasion? The answer for any parent is we would do anything necessary to protect our children. But unfortunately, people who've done that have faced the brunt of the law. The system treats, after 10 years of liberals, the system treats victims like criminals and criminals like victims. Back in 2019, 3 masked intruders, one armed with a sawed-off shotgun, broke into a residence in Collingwood. Cameron Gardner and his girlfriend were tied up. When they finally freed themselves, they struggled with the intruders. The attacker's gun went off twice, striking 2 of the attackers. One escaped. Now, when Cameron saw the police arrive, he was relieved until he found out that they were going to put him in handcuffs. He'd fought for his life. He was courageous. And this is the price he paid. He was in jail for 6 months. He was in a legal process for over 2 years, spending an ungodly fortune on lawyers. And then there's Ali Mian. In February of 2023, the Milton residence and licensed firearms owner awoke to find five intruders who were masked and armed. They came in, broke into his house, carrying weapons, zip ties, and harmed his mother. After using his legal firearm to shoot one of the intruders, he was able to fight them off. But he was arrested. By the way, one of the intruders had a 9mm handgun. And yet, the law went after this innocent man trying to defend his home. He had to post $130,000 in bail for defending his family. After 5 months of hell, the second-degree murder charge was finally dropped by the Crown because they realized there was no reasonable chance of conviction. But it is outrageous that this man had to live through that hell when he should have been focused on recovering from the trauma of fighting off a dangerous criminal. And that is why conservatives are standing here today, based on the principle that your home is your castle. We're calling on the government to introduce and immediately pass the Stand on Guard law, failing which one of our party's MPs will put forward such a bill. It will amend Section 34.2 of the Criminal Code, which right now says that you can defend yourself based on 9 very complicated and vague conditions. Now look, if you're defending your house, you don't have time to think through 9 different conditions. You have one condition: to protect yourself and your kids. And it is wrong for the law, for the police, and for judges to apply a complicated, indecipherable legal doctrine against you when you were only doing what is right. Our amendment instead will change Section 34.2 of the Criminal Code to say that the use of force, including lethal force, is presumed reasonable against an individual who unlawfully enters a house and poses a threat to the safety of anyone inside. The proposed amendment is reasonable and prudent. It applies only to the unlawful entry of a home and preserves proportionality. Simply put, it means you have the right to use force to defend your home and your family against someone who threatens you and who has entered illegally. This bill will also put Canada in line with other developed, civilized countries. Ireland, several Australian states, Spain, the United Kingdom, and some American states already have this principle embedded. And it will make sure that Canadians are treated right for a change. We think that our role in this Parliament is to put forward good ideas. And so my message to Mr. Carney is steal our best ideas. Work with us. Let's get it done. Let's put our country first. Who cares who gets the credit? Take our ideas so that we can reverse not only the crime and chaos Liberals have caused, but let's also take these ideas to bring the cost of living, immigration, and unemployment down. Keep our people safe. Let's put our country first. Let's once again work together, all of us from all parties, to make this a country where everyone who works hard gets a beautiful house in a safe street with good food on the table, united under our proud Canadian flag. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You agree with what I had to say? Thank you. Right. Right. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. That's a very powerful story. I don't know if you heard it, but this wonderful lady was just telling me that a man was approached by a lady who pretended to be friendly and then went to steal his wedding ring off of his finger. He'd just lost his wife the year earlier. And did he get his ring back? So he's never got the ring back. So here's this man, it's the precious meaning of a wedding ring stolen from him after he already lost his wife. But this is the kind of thing that's happening on our streets. And this is why we have a duty to work together to stop the crime wave and to restore safety. And I hope they find that criminal. And it was a woman who did it to him? Well, she should be locked up. They should lock her up and throw away the key.
Now we have some time for some questions.
Good morning, Mr. Polyev. This is Nitin Chopra.
Hi, Nitin.
Hi. What are your plans for the judicial reforms? Recently, Premier Ford, he blasted the judiciary. He quoted that judges are politically appointed and running judiciary with political agenda. Like judges gave less punishment because of criminals' immigration status. If you are on a work permit, less punishment. visitor to this country, less punishment. If you are a student visa, less punishment. When our premier or leaders don't have a trust on judiciary, so how can a common man can trust a judicial process?
Well, look, I share some of the frustration, but let's be clear. The judges are interpreting liberal laws. It's liberal laws, C-75, that allows criminals who've committed 150 or 200 offenses to be released within minutes of their latest arrest. That is a liberal law. So when a judge gives bail, they're just following the liberal law. It is the liberal law, C-5, that allows serious violent offenders to have house arrest or to get early parole. It is a liberal law that allowed Paul Bernardo to go from a maximum security penitentiary to a medium penitentiary where he'll be able to play sports and cook for himself and enjoy the freedoms he robbed from other people. Those are liberal laws. So let's, sure, we can blame others, but the blame is with the liberals. And by the way, Mark Carney has done nothing to reverse the laws brought in while he was the economic advisor to the liberals. So let's put the blame where it belongs. As for this ridiculous ruling that suggested that someone should have a lower conviction or sentence because they were a temporary resident in our country from another nation, that is outrageous. It is ridiculous that in our liberal justice system, someone gets a lower conviction simply because they came from another country. And that is why Michelle Rempel, conservative immigration critic, is introducing a law that will ban judges from giving sentencing discounts to people on the basis of their immigration status. Frankly, anyone who is visiting our country from abroad and applying for immigration who commits a crime should be deported from our country.
Michelle Song, CBC News. Mr. Polyev, how would you define reasonable self-defense? Is there a limit?
Well, in my proposed bill, the Stand on Guard law says that if two things happen, one, someone enters your home illegally, and two, they are a threat to your family. Actually, I'm going to start that again. Let me say it very precisely. The two conditions. If someone enters your home illegally and uninvited, and two, you reasonably believe they're a threat to your family, then it is assumed that all the force you use against that person is reasonable and legal. That is the test that our bill will bring in. Thank you. Yes, Ezra.
Thanks for having me here,
Thank
Ezra
you.
Levant from Rebel News. For years before marijuana was decriminalized, it was the position of police and prosecution not to charge anyone with small amounts in possession. So they didn't wait for the Parliament. I see that Mark Carney's favorite premier, Doug Ford, has said he's for the Castle Law, and other provinces like Alberta have said that too. Will you call on Doug Ford not to wait for Carney to reconvene Parliament, but rather to issue a statement that there will be no more prosecutions of homeowners who defend their homes just as a matter of policy, because right now his prosecutors are going after Jeremy McDonald, whose home was invaded in Lindsay, Ontario.
And those are provincial prosecutors who are doing that? Well, I think that's a great idea. I don't know the legal powers that a premier has to direct the prosecution service, so I would not comment on it. But I would hope prosecutors would stop going after law-abiding people who are defending their property. We need prosecutors to go after criminals. Now, as for their ability to do that, I've never been a Crown prosecutor, so I don't know. We have a Crown prosecutor here, in Larry Brock, so maybe he can jump in on this. But I will say this: we need to change the law. Let's make the law clear. Let's bring into place the idea that your home is your castle, so that no prosecutor, judge, or police officer can ever go after someone who is defending their home against an invader who presents a threat. Do you have anything to add, Larry? Prosecutor. This is the prosecutor.
Thank you. Thank you, Leader. Although Crown prosecutors in every province, particularly in Ontario, maintain independence, as long as they can justify that independence, they are still directed policy-wise by the Attorney General. In this case, the Attorney General of Ontario being Doug Downey. To answer your question, Mr. Levant, Mr. Downey has that ability to perhaps direct Crowns in light of what we are doing at a federal level to reflect upon the change in legislation we hope is about to come.
Thank you. Thanks, Larry.